Their slogan, we shall rise, it was so true. Tell John Public not to panic while them and they sidekick swimming in a pool of dollars so blue. Like meat-eating vulture, they neglect agriculture. Mega fans of phony, Mama Guy Caroni, Sweet Man Glenn and Sharma, came face to face with the karma. And it was awful, but through it to pull. Don't need a big mouth to tell them go. Watch her and see they just follow now. Before we regret tomorrow, please. You're setting a bad example. Family values they trample. Go. It's only vice they desire. Now. Before the 5 years expire, like a dog with fleas, a dog on the knees. And a bleeding gold. Now before we end in bankruptcy. Before they empty the treasury, streets turn into rivers, then into seas. It's why I'm bleeding gold now. Immediately. And don't forget your AG code. Now, please. Love to quarrel, always oral, highly immoral. They let the good doctor starve to death. Used to court him, once support him, no road to point for him. But once in power, they quickly forget. They love confrontation.
Bless. Igwe.
Devon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Master
Peace,
Kyle.
my brother. Independent Talk for Sunday, the 18th, February 2024. Grenada is my constituency. Real FM is my parliament. Devon, Igwe, and myself are the people's spokesman today. We are blessed and protected by the Ancient of Days. We are Real FM, Real Media, New Media. Our purpose here is to simply give you the facts, and you could check. You could fact check us. And what you do with the facts is a matter for you. We are here to advocate on behalf of the poor, the weak, the meek, those who cannot do it for themselves, and the vulnerable. Advocate for truth and justice. Even when it don't affect us, where shame is absent, anything could happen. Like what the government is doing to the Imanis. So somebody tell me last night, Devon, it's like the cheese in the pie in the sky melt out.
Yes. Or you lean on one side.
Yeah, say cheese melt out, so all the thing on them, all the toppings falling out
falling
now.
out on it.
Yeah, the cheese can't hold it.
Yes. Blessed afternoon to all. And it's another day when we'll try to bring as much information, truthful information to you, the public. And we hope, as Master Carl said, what you do with it is entirely up to you. Because it's facts that we will be sharing here to you. Because you know they like to take back. So we will explain to you, right, these things, what they're doing to the money, right? The cheese that is stealing out of that pie, you know, from the money. It's ridiculous. But Master Carl?
The Prime Minister took the oath before God and man to serve the people. As a matter of fact, he said his thing was serving the people. He didn't care about the IMF and all them kind of things. He said to serve the people. And the call was made before God and man to serve all the people. But 18 to 19 months into the government, only some of the people is being solved. So we want to know, Mr. Prime Minister, when you intend to solve the rest?
Yes, the nation waiting on it.
Because the reason why we saying that, Devon, when is the Prime Minister and this government making a serious attempt to solve health care?
Yes.
Because, Devon, health care is in a mess.
Bad.
And guess I wanted to get that clip with Minister Andrew. He say they have money in surplus, so money is not a problem. Because money could not be a problem. You waste $22 million for independence.
Definitely.
So that means money is not a problem. So it's the will
Yes.
or the appetite to fix healthcare.
Yeah.
Devon, as you see, and somebody came where I was living this morning and say, watch, somebody telling me they even have gauze in the hospital, and you mentioned that.
And that's a fact, and I can give you a lie. I mean, I was home, you know, and my friend was taking his son up to the medical center, and the son could not get his hand dressed because there was no gauze in the medical center. I mean, that is ridiculous. How can a government allow this to happen? I mean, how? And who are the ones suffering? The poor, the vulnerable persons who have to use the health centers, right, for in the first line of health attack. That is what the health centers are there for, to serve the immediate needs of the community. And when you don't have a simple thing as God, may God help us.
Yeah, Devon, and that is a real concern, because we know money is not hard to find.
No, money is not hard to find.
Because $22 million was lavishly spent out.
Yeah, there is a
For
surplus.
this time. The victimization continues. A few weeks ago, there was an article in the New Today regarding the police, and that there was still NNP elements that should be removed. Well, this week, the commissioner and the RGPF has responded by making some quiet transfers, moving perceived NNP supporters, perceived because I'm sure that they were wrong in many instances. That's why I say perceived, because knowing the people and them and knowing the politics, they were wrong. This situation and mode of operation is crippling the organization and the spirit of the officers. The recent confirmation of senior officers who were held back just to let certain officers get ahead in seniority. This approach will backfire and kill the soul of the police force, all in the name of deconization. There is a particular officer who refused to participate in the legitimate promotion process and is now an assistant superintendent of police, and move is afoot to promote him soon to a superintendent of police. He sits comfortable in the office once occupied by the acting ACP, Mitchell, who was forced into oblivion and revenge for having the surname Mitchell. Every day, the bucket goes to the well. One day, the bottom will drop out. I hope they could take it, Devon.
I mean, it is so much that is going on with RGPF, and you know, they are starting to use the media, particular media, right, to basically call for the heads of a lot of police officers. I mean, I heard one personality on Facebook and everything downright calling the police all sorts of derogatory name and basically directing the government, right, to change the hierarchy. There is a set of NNP inside there and they are calling the shots, all because he wasn't satisfied with their performance, right? So this is just another way of getting to the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force by using members in the media or some parts of the media fraternity to go after the Royal Grenada Police Force. So when changes occur, then they will say, well, you know, we have heard that. But they are setting the stage. This government is setting the stage to destroy some of the most prominent institutions that we have in our country right now. And the police is on the top of their list.
Yes, Devon. Them transfers will take effect from Monday. They say some quiet transfers.
And Who does it affect in terms of?
Well, it affects all who they suspect to be NNP. Because they say they have to, get rid of NNP elements
Within the structures.
Devon, the present government is not performing with distinction. And they are making some decisions, but the Prime Minister told us all in the game, when you see strange decisions are being made, find out who pays for the rallies and the big fete. There continue to be late payment of salaries for workers.
Yes, that's a fact.
Non-application of salary increases for 2023 and 2024 for some workers. Non-short payment for 2023 for some workers, and the same $1,000 they make all the song and dance in the budget for is not being applied. Now, with that said, Devon, the excuse is the financial officers.
Yes.
So, I took out my dark shades and I put my Marco knob on, and I realized the workload for the financial officers has been doubled.
Yes, that's a fact.
I also found out that they doubled the workload of the financial officers without doing a personnel assessment to know the capability of those same workers. So that becomes a management issue, Devon. Let me give you an example. Because they like to give you examples. Now, in the UK, whom we get independence from, who wrote the Constitution and others, if the constable is found wanting, the corporal is responsible. And once the corporal is responsible for not supervising, the sergeant becomes responsible for the corporal not supervising. The inspector becomes responsible for the sergeant not doing the work.
Yeah.
The superintendent becomes responsible for the inspector not doing the work, and he go right up to the chief of police. Case in point, if the financial officers not doing their work as the Minister of Finance see what is being done, then this is sabotage by NNP elements.
Yeah.
So, if you know that NNP elements sabotaging what you're doing, you still not doing nothing. So, Devon, you understand what's going on?
Yeah.
Kakistocracy.
The purge has begun.
Kakistocracy and a default government is in charge of Grenada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They are making all sorts of excuses and using their supporters on the different radio stations to go after the public workers, the financial officers, the police officers, the health administrators, and so they're using these tools to go after them because they know they're about to make a set of changes because of the allegation that most of these people are NNP. What a poor
They set in the
excuse.
stage. Because that's how they operate, you know.
That's how they operate.
Anytime you hear them mouthpieces
Start saying.
start speaking a particular thing, take notice.
Take notice. Not far from be long, you see it happening. You understand? And those mouthpieces they are adamant, they are forceful in what they are saying. So they are not just saying it just so. Like you can have that, you had that feeling that they already had discussions with persons in authority to do these things. But it's not surprising to us as an organization, right? We expect that. We expect the victimization of most persons that they perceive to be NNP. But we are Grenadians. We have to take part in the process of governing our country. They can't stop that. Look, they can do what they want. They can move persons from different positions, but that wouldn't dawn their spirit from doing the work that they have to do. These public servants, most of them are professionals.
Yes.
Right? They are professionals. They have been doing this job for years efficiently. And then all of a sudden you want to throw them under the bus? Right? You're not blaming the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance because he's your brother. But you're blaming the financial officers. Right? So who is responsible for the financial officers? Not the PS that has to take direct responsibility for the running of the ministry.
The management.
The whole management. That is what it's supposed to be. So when you're sharing responsibility and blame the persons directly under you, which happens to be your brother. Perhaps you don't want to say that.
No, but in blaming the financial officers, Devon, he refused to acknowledge that the workload of the same financial officer has been doubled. Because the bi-monthly payment comes as a direct result of the increased workload for the financial officer.
Yes.
So when we spoke about it, people jump up and think, and they didn't understand. So that is an extra burden, and those financial officers are not working for more money as the government getting, as the ministers getting money. So
exactly.
That is the case in point.
And it's a serious workload for them because imagine you have to prepare as officers, prepare 2 sets of pay slips for the month. Right? So imagine you have no break in terms of preparation because from the time one finish, you have to start preparing for another one. Then you have the whole question of they have created a bottleneck within the Ministry of Finance and the different financial institutions that runs under the government, right? By doing that, take your time, understand the workload, understand how this thing's supposed to work, and implement it, over time. But you want to rush and do things when the system becomes clogged up now. Then you want to put blame on the officers responsible. But you're not telling the nation that you have doubled their work and their pay is not being doubled. Mr. Grimes, I wonder what's going on with that. You have your officers, public officers, doing double work. That's like overtime. And they're not being paid for it. Right? Some of them don't even get the last increase that you negotiated for. You understand? What about the TAMCC workers that all the noise was made for? Have they gotten their money? I would really like to get that answer from somebody as Mr. Grimes.
Or I'll pick up Mr. Grimes as wrote to them,
Concerning that?
Yes.
That is good. That is good as the president, you have to ensure that these things happen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Master Carl and Romain. How are you doing, sir?
All right, good.
Good. I want to ask a question again regarding the idea, or if the land which was bought for the hospital in Wester Hall, that area there, what was there any form of studies being done before you purchasing the land of any sense? Because of that particular area and many of the bridges normally always when it's rain it goes blocked. Now when you having a general hospital, you're talking a lot. There is a lot of things that comes to mind. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Are you with me on that? Yeah, and there's a lot of things. It's not just buying a piece of land. And first of all, there is more of farmland. And that is below the road. Now it has to be filled. And again, the road itself, the bridges there on the either side, the movement of those emergency vehicles do become an issue. What happens if while rain is falling, the bridge is blocked now, there is somebody who is going towards the hospital and they cannot cross the bridge? What does happen? Yeah?
Yeah, caller.
You understand where I'm going from, Master Carl?
Yeah, but
So
we have no information how studies been done because the same thing like in Mali and them places.
No, the thing is that we were spending, even currently now on the Sunday, the former Kibla Wireless building is now been renovated for police headquarters. Now, you as an ex-police officer, do you really think it is more suitable for that area of the building of? When I say building, I mean a headquarters in that locality.
What headquarters?
The police.
Police headquarters is going to be moved on the Carnage in the former building, which is known as.
Yeah, some more works is being done there right now to accommodate that.
Do you think it is good enough to put a police headquarters in that environment?
I don't know. I don't have such information, but as we always do here on new media, we'll get the information and bring it to the people.
Yeah, because you see, when things of certain things, you have to, when it's a question, is I don't want to politicize or label it anyway. Those buildings come with a lot of, insecurity, when it's security and all this kind of stuff. Yeah?
Yeah.
So all those things, the questions do come up now. You can, for me, I would have put it different location, more in a private area, like, yeah? So I don't know how these things been, how these things been approached, or what kind of thinking.
Well, it is left to be seen.
Yeah, but you see that's why many occasions our country spends money 2 and 3 times behind certain things. When you reach to a certain area, then you realize no, this is wrong, and then we had to go elsewhere. So that money is gone to waste.
Let's hope that is not a case of that.
Well, it's been nothing. A lot of talks. We are hearing that the building is renovating for that purposes. Yeah.
No, I know for a fact that the headquarters is moving to the Carnage in the old cable and wireless building. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Why people had to move out of that building before still remains a mystery, and why you put any police in a building people had to move out from.
Well, I don't know what.
So we could do some research.
Before. Yeah, no. The thing is that you have to know how secure it is.
Now we go.
It's right is in the sea. This is a headquarters that overlooks.
No, they don't have no real treatment for the police. They treating the police anyhow.
Yeah.
They bring them and work. They don't feed them and all kind of thing. Anything goes.
Honestly, to be honest with you, there's certain things and you need to put proper structure in place to be governed at a certain level so you could set standards. Yeah, because you as a police person need to be in firm protection. You need to be protected in order for you to protect others. Yeah?
All right.
Okay.
All right, my friend.
Okay.
I always believe that when you removing or you moving from one area to a next to improve, all right? I mean, there must be some sort of improvement and better facilities and so I would hope that based on what is going on with our police officers in terms of headquarters, that the necessary things is being done to accommodate them fully and not just put them in a place that is not prepared, that is not secured and everything like that. I would really hope that they will consider doing a thorough job in ensuring that the hierarchy of our police force is being protected and so on, is stationed in a place that they can work, because that is the security of our nation. We have to be mindful of that. And at one point in time there was a concern of that said building, right, where the floor was
it was mold infested.
Yeah, mold or some, not just mold though, but there was something concerning the wave. Some what was the term they use for the electronic thing when you have like these big antennas, and so there was something wave or what?
Wave,
What do you call it?
Waves.
Yeah.
Radiation.
Radiation, like a microwave.
Right. The radiation in terms of
Plus
what
you
is
have
there.
civilian houses attached to the building.
Exactly. You understand? So all these things, they have to be taken into consideration. And I think that was one of the main reasons why the courts, the high courts and so was moved from there very quickly. Right? Because they used to operate there. All right? So they had to be moved because of these concerns. I hope that these concerns are being addressed, right, and so on, and we don't just move our police to any Vicky place and thinking that is the best for them, and we're just making it worse. And under this government,
Look at this, Devon. The permission given to play amplified music was revoked. Who gave the authority, or who gave the instruction to the Commissioner of Police to remove it? Is still a mystery. Yeah, but you hear persons from the real cabinet, and I know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You hear persons from the real cabinet saying they're blaming the police for it and saying it was not written in the proper context. Yeah. And all kind of thing.
And the wording could have been different.
So people from the real cabinet, the real power, throwing the police under the bus.
Because I cannot understand, right, Mr. Mackenzie, right, and your whole official I cannot understand that you will get up on your own without sharing any reason and tell all the persons that you have given permission to have amplified music on the 7th to just take it away from them.
But
I don't think you are crazy, sir.
Apart from the mole in that building, the radiation was so high, the High Court refused to sit in that building.
Yeah, they had to move them from there.
So the question is, what if, was anything done in relation to the radiation in the building?
Still have to be seen.
Are you exposing the police hierarchy to a high level of radiation? These are the questions, you know.
You must.
And we on new media go always ask these questions.
Until answer is being given.
What is the radiation situation in the building where police headquarters will be located to or relocated to?
Yeah.
And is there any mole in the building still? And has anything changed with the level of radiation in the same building?
Yeah. Because we have to understand, Master Carl, that two sets of organizations operated there and moved. Remember, originally Flow, right, had this building there, and for whatever reason they moved out. The building remained vacant for a while. Then the court came there, and in a short space of time, they had to move out. Now, what is the reason why they are moving out? Just like that. Is it serious health problems? We really want to know. We don't want to know our sons and daughters within the police force are being exposed to radiation and all sorts of mold and whatever that might be there. We need to know, right? Because it will not just affect the police officers. It will affect their families and people in the communities where they are from. That means every single community in our nation will be affected, God forbid, if there is something wrong in that building that is not taken care of.
Who will be held accountable?
Who will take the responsibility for that?
Will the Minister of National Security take full responsibility?
Well, I don't think so, because based on what he is saying, the gun issue in our country, that's nothing to do with him. And he is the Minister of National Security. So imagine he's not taking that responsibility. Would he take the responsibility for that? Come on, that would never happen. I mean, these guys are doing things so, so out of touch.
Well, the question remains, Devon, is it health worthy or safe for the police hierarchy to be relocated in that building?
Yes. And we want to know that. And you police officers, you better do your own investigation. Right? Don't take our word alone for it. Right? We are bringing that situation to you. Do your own investigation as police officers. The Police Welfare Association. Right? Pay attention to what is going on. Find out, investigate. Right? And let us know, right, the reasons why, persons had to vacate that building in the past.
And right? we knew it was some the court moved because of the high level of radiation.
Yes.
So if the court moved because of the high level of radiation, why put the police headquarters in that building?
Exactly. Because remember...
And that is a legitimate question. That is not a question of politics. That is a question of life and livelihood.
Exactly, because the lawyers at one point in time was basically on a mini protest telling the government that they have to move the court from there, otherwise they will not attend.
But you're putting the police in the
building. They put in the police. That is why the court is where it is right now, in Clico building. Right? They had to rush and find place, the Ministry of Legal Affairs, to house the judges and the lawyers and so, because they would not go to court in that under this situation, under that condition. We are not telling lies. The facts are there. And also, it is not only convenient for you guys to do things, and when people expose you, you say all sorts of things. We are against the government and we lying. Go look at it for yourself. Find the facts. Talk to the lawyers who used to be part and parcel. Go into that court in that building on the Caranage, and they will tell you. Don't just take our word for it. Right? It seems that most of the times, as a people, we tend to forget a lot of things that happen to us. When you forget your history, you're doomed, you know. Mm-hmm. Try not to forget your history. Just like what this government playing dummy don't know when it comes to our 50th independence. Leaving out and distorting lots of information when it comes to the historic events in 50 years of our independence. They're not telling the truth. They are keeping the truth, a lot of the truth away from our people. But then again, as my good friend Mr. Pierre say, they sit down and they manufacture lies. They sit down and plan lies, how to distort the people. And that is not funny, what they are doing. Because the people are suffering. They continue to do that. And it has to stop. They have to stop treating people as third and fourth class citizens of this country.
And now, Devon, if you follow these people, it is clear. When you see what they did to the people on the seed beneficiary, when you see what they do to the people in the houses, when you see what they did to the people taking their jobs, when you see what is happening now to the I-money
and the school feeding program
and the honorarium for doctors,
yes,
and the non-payment of the retroactive for 2023, the minister or the parliamentary representative for St. John's said it, and we take it like a joke. When she mentioned to people as commoners. So there was a discussion held, but maybe she was not crafty enough to couch it. So she talk it.
She couldn't help it.
So that what they sit down and discuss and calling most of the people in grade are commoners.
Segregating the people. And they're not doing it just in words. They are doing it in action.
So when she went and say, morning to my colleagues and commoners, everybody else is commoners.
Everybody else.
So when we see what's happening now, the police is commoners.
Yeah.
So they could expose them to high level of radiation.
Yeah.
So how the police realize now, them men and them get what they want from them already, which was the vote.
That's it.
And they don't care anymore.
No. You see what they're doing to the Imanis? The Prime Minister came to my constituency just before the budget. Right?
Gates could play what he say.
With a big supporter standing on the side of him, and he made the comments about the $500.
And he dressed in yellow.
And he dressed in yellow to all the Imanis. And look at what they're doing to the Imanis. Play the gates.
Who is going to give them Imanis $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Like to papi shows poor people children.
So we in line. That is what the Prime Minister said. Who is going to give the Imanis $500 in the new budget coming up?
Not NDC.
Not NEC.
He didn't say 200 or 300. He said 500. Now, when you give them the 500 for the first month, you're turning around now and say it's a mistake you make. That means the Prime Minister is a liar.
Well, I know that a long time ago, Devon. If you only finding out that.
Well, he confirmed it. He confirmed it to the nation and his supporters.
He lied. He damn lied.
Yes, the Prime Minister is a liar. Let's take a call, Gates. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon, Igwe, Romain.
Good afternoon,
Carl.
my friend.
Yeah, I listening to you all. This thing about what happening to the police there is not new in it, because you see, the NDC are accustomed doing that. No, we are not in Russia. We see what happening in Russia right now with the opposition leader, right? And we know what's going on. We in a mild state of that, because like you rightly said, Romain, I listen to a guy on the radio chastising the police, and I like, come on, you cannot be chastising me and want to be my friend. This is dangerous, and I keep saying again, when these people talk, listen to their programs. It gives you an idea of how they think. You have to get into their minds of how they think. Devon, I happened to watch a program that you and a guy did, Chelon did a couple of years back, in 2018. That was around the campaign time, and that guest on that program was Chester Humphrey.
Yeah.
Right? When the program was about to finish, I think that was the campaign time, and the members of the NP was giving the campaign, what they're going to do and things like that. I think we as NP people, we should go back and look at these things at them, and see where we come from and understand where we're heading. Because let me tell you something. Nobody knew of this Deacon Mitchell in politics before 2021 when he was elected or given the leadership of NEC. No one can say his accomplishment in youth. All I can say that he defended corporate companies against Grenadians. And that is what we're supposed to be looking at. So it gives you the mindset of how this guy thinks. He doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't even care about his own ministers. You can see it.
Paycheck.
Right? And that is what I'm seeing playing out. I'm seeing what is playing out here. Each one is on its own. Each one is on its own, because if you have an acting Prime Minister to be calling a radio program to spread more lies on top of lies, it shows you that he, as a Prime Minister, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, is supposed to put a guy in place and say, watch, there are certain things that you should not be talking about as a minister, as that minister, matter of fact. If you're the line minister, the Minister of Finance, fair enough, you give a comment. But you're seeing people like the NECs all over the place. You have a guy who's in NOC talking about things that the cabinet minister is supposed to be talking about. And that is dangerous. There are people on the radio that say they have more information than the ministers themselves. What does that tell you?
Of course.
Grenadians, listen to them.
Chaos.
It is dangerous. Anyhow, guys, I'm listening. Have a good day.
All right. Oh, good evening. It was amazing to hear the acting Prime Minister on that morning call. And just before, the person that called before, it was me. And I spoke about the school feeding and the money. And he couldn't help himself.
Yeah, he couldn't help himself,
right into the trap. I laughed at him.
Yes, you called, yeah.
But the man says to John Public that he has no original ideas. So when people making this song and dance about the gentleman gate, I take a stroll. As how Kroko say, because all that big bore time can live in one hole.
No, at all.
You take a stroll.
Yeah, because all that big bore time can live in one hole.
I like that. You take a stroll.
I mean, it was amazing and trying
Devon,
to
I need to
defend.
read something for you before we go further.
Yes.
The passing of one Winston White.
Yes, boy. We lost our soul there,
We lost a stalwart. An icon.
Yes. A political, well, in not...
A guru.
Yes, a political guru over the years.
A pundit.
Yeah. Someone who went through all governments and administrations from independence or even before independence up to this day. We lost a great soul.
Yeah, man.
Someone who is full who was full of history, who could have tell you, yeah, I mean, Grenada's history, 50 years of independence, one person that would have it at the tip of his tongue would have been Honorable Winston White. My condolence to the family, immediate family and all around, his friends and so. And you know, his contribution to the country was so great that we can never forget the contribution that he made. You know, to his children. I mean, we really we are here, right, as a family to ensure that, you know, that you are comforted. Be sure of that. Wow, Mr.
And he is one of the persons who will go down in the annals of history.
Yes.
History will record him on the right side. But strange, they have only had 50 years. We never hear men like his name mentioned.
Yeah.
Never. You know? And besides politics, his contribution in the whole commercial sector within our country was noted by this big project that Zublin took, I mean, out there.
Yes.
The Bruce Street Mall.
Yes.
That massive construction building there, all the port and everything. His input would have been there as one of the managers, managing either the real estate or whatever. But his input as a Grenadian was noticed and he participated. And I mean, it's sad. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. We're fine.
I take this opportunity on my own behalf to extend condolences to my brother, Robert White. And, well, I don't need to tell him that I'm there. He knows that. But I'd really and truly love for us to understand a couple of things. Winston White was a member of the delegation that went to the United Kingdom, to England, with Sir Eric in relation to independence.
Yes.
No, I want us to also understand and to realize that we lost Mr. George, who was the gentleman who did the flag.
Yeah.
We've now lost Winston White, who was a member of the delegation, and realize that our main celebration for the 50th anniversary of independence has already gone. There will be others that will be held in different parishes as indicated by the government. But do you realize that people like Winston White, who was and still is our youngest appointed senator who's a minister, he still holds that. Not the youngest minister, but the youngest ever minister of sport, who was selected as a senator by Sir Eric Matthew Carey. A little laughable one about Winston is that when you go through the annals of the history, you'll find out that Winston did contest a seat in St. Patrick and lost by one vote.
By one vote.
We would not say who did not vote. It wasn't Robert, of course, because Robert was not voting.
We wouldn't say who did not vote.
No, we would not say who did not vote, but we know definitely it was not Robert because Robert he couldn't vote at that point in time. But what I want to stick here, and what I want people to understand, here, two persons have gone in the same year. The gentleman who did the flag and Winston White. There's another lady. She's around, and I'm not going to call her name. But she, too, was a member of that delegation that went to England in relation to the independence. and we have not recognized her. When are we going to? On anniversary 51?
Yeah.
And to say that we planned it that way? That is not correct. What is correct is that we were concerned about how good the drones were going to look. That's what we were concerned
And the
about.
fireworks.
Of how good the fireworks were going to be. And we are not concerned about who we should be recognizing. Who were the persons who were there? Winston was there. Albeit around that time he was not too well, but his son walks about almost every day. His daughters, there's a daughter of his that walk in the corridors of power,
yes.
the PS,
Yes.
in the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. That's Winston's daughter. And he has others. I wouldn't call their names, but that one is out there in the public. So she could have gone onto the stage if they had a stage and if they awarded anybody. They didn't award anybody, and that's what you have to be cognizant of. They did not award anybody on Independence Day. And if you speak to Linda Stricker, she'll be able to quote all about in the Constitution and on the laws and whatever that says that we are supposed to do that on that day. We did not.
Yes.
And that is the fact. We did not. And that is why we would have missed people like Mr. George, the designer of the flag, and Winston White. Winston White. The people of St. Patrick, and by extension, the people of Grenada, they've lost someone who has created history, not just in Grenada, but in the Caribbean. I speak now, and I am trying my best. I'm telling you, I'm trying my best, my utmost, to song like him, because I really appreciated the way he spoke. The guy was simply a genius.
A master with the English language.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you see, I am very disappointed. I don't, unless I'm doing my own program, you guys will realize I don't really call to, but today is a day that I had to call, and I was waiting for you guys to raise that. And Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, and his team, they failed the Grenadian people. They failed the St. Patrick's people. Honorable Joseph Andel, you failed us. Honorable Dennis Cornwall, you continue to fail us. I say no more. Goodbye.
Have a blessed afternoon.
What the caller, the last part of the caller's thing is simply this, and Gates, you need to play that for us. A kakistocracy is government by the least suitable people. And based on all that is going on, we have the least suitable people in power. He talked about the gentleman, and see, he was an icon and a genius. I see he was a man even before his time. No, I'm telling you. Yeah, let's take the call.
He was. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Devon. How are everything?
Good afternoon, my
Master Carl.
friend.
Ewe, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
The Prime Minister said in Parliament, when you're poor and you're begging, want to come to be politician, how you could solve with distinction. He and Speaker whosoever they are the job, they call them professional. Well, Master Carl, up now, since election, we're waiting for the professional to solve and to start to solve with distinction. The poor and the begging and the professional, all of them same basket because they're not solving nobody except in themselves. They're them for themselves and the friend is solving. But when you look at what is going on in the country concerned to do with the poor people, every programs the previous government had in place to help develop the young people life. Alright? This government destroying it. They destroyed the Imani program, they destroyed the housing program, They destroy the police force, which is very important because when for the safety and security of our nation, you have to treat the police the right way, treat them the right way, because one of the things, if the security of our country is not on the right track, the whole country could be living in fear. And have the Minister of National Security, who should lead by example. He is the one that mashing up the police force. Right? He mashing up the police force because when if you can police is independent, right? You don't they may vote for a party, but right now, Devon, you've seen clearly that the police is seeing who they who they vote for and who they vote for. Because to get any promotion, you have to toe that line. And you have to make yourself clear that you are a member of the ruling government. Right? If they and you don't know where you stand, they go tell yourself, well, you may be supporting an NMP. But I always want to say, once a man doing his work, he could be an NMP and doing what he's supposed to do, he should and he deserves to get promotion. He has to get promotion. Right? Promotion will come by who you support. Promotion come by you showing your work and doing your work the right way. And these are what should be given to you. But right now, that's not how it's going. Only how we get promotion out, you have to be towing the line of that party, towing that line. And up now, we're waiting to see the government do something good, do something to build Grander build them up. But what happened? This government is tearing down Grander, making Grander a laughing stock. As the committee said, the Prime Minister and all his ministers, they need, and they're not too late, to go in training school and learn how to govern. Being a liar, being a businessman, that'll make you a good leader. That'll make you a good leader. So I call it upon the people of Greater Caribbean Peter Martin. Yes, 5 years we come again. Don't forget, look and see what the government is doing to you, the poor man. Look and see what they're doing to you, poor man, the poor women of our nation. And when come election, your son, your grandchildren, make sure you get them to go out and register to vote for the house. Because NMP governance, the life of the people of Grand Caribbean Diplomatic is up. But under this government, the life of the people in this country, their life become miserable and miserable every day. While them up, them who have already, they're getting richer and richer. So I call them legal. They're sucking the marrow of the poor people of this country. But the time will tell. Have a blessing.
All right, my friend. You know, there is a very interesting thing that I noticed during the whole festive period of our independence, that our constitution, right, has been at some point in time being basically, how you call it, usurped. That's a good word, Master Carl? Yeah, you know, for the own benefit of this political organization, right? They have done things, right, that's supposed to be done officially, especially, right, leading or even on our Independence Day, that's supposed to be gazetted, right? And they went along and do it anyways. So many things that we take for granted, and I am begging persons like Linda Stricker has continued to do an excellent job when it comes to allotting persons about that. But we must not take these things lightly. When you give them an inch, they continue to bite in our constitution and change and do things as they want. Eventually, you will not be able to stop that mini dictator, that mini me that we have, right? Because they have dictatorship have a way of occurring in different ways. And we are seeing certain signs of that happening in Grenada, right? Where our constitution is being played with by persons who know better.
It is not. It is been suspended secretly.
Okay. It has been suspended secretly without the knowledge of the people.
Because what happened, and let me see why, because we always have receipt for what we say.
Yes.
Or you want to take a break and come back with it?
Well, yes, let's take a break, and then we will take that on.
And I think this is how we describe our government. This is a real word. It's not made up.
Okay.
It has Greek origins. It is called a kakistocracy. Google it. A kakistocracy.
Surely you're making things up now.
Google it.
I mean, I love the word, but what is the meaning?
Okay. You Google it and you tell me the meaning.
Okay.
And tell me this does not adequately describe our government.
Now I'm typing kaki into my work computer.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy.
Kakistocracy. And give me the definition.
Literally, a government by the worst people.
Yes.
A government by the least suitable or competent citizens of a state. Okay? So full of the kaki people.
It's not
I
even
can't believe it's an actual word.
and it's not even an Afrikaans word you'd think where kak comes from. Hey?
Wow.
Do you call a parliament full of these people a case?
Ah, he enjoyed that.
Touché, my man. Touché.
Tell me candid, they too wicked, far too crooked. That is the frequent comment I hear. Too one-sided, underhanded, can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes, yeah. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up over, they unleash their lawyer. Set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false paper screw. I don't need to talk close to tell them go. Hurry, pack up your bundle now. Stop fooling the people. The country taking a beating. So maybe I repeating. Go. They're like a natural disaster. Now. 10 times worse than Ebola. Like a dog with fleas and tongue on their knees. And I'm begging. Streets turn into rivers, then into seas. Is why I'm singing. Now this is my humble petition. Another day for election. Go now, please. Accidental, detrimental, could be lethal. Are you willing to take that chance? Much too seedy, they too greedy, eyes too beady.
Yes, Devon, before we take the break, we authored something, but before we get into that, I want to make a plea. As people view these programs as wanted information and they believe it does get result when we speak on issues. Yeah. So, Mr. Harvey, a resident from Sobeys, is claiming that he has an issue and he don't believe the Grenville police station. We don't beating up on the police, but we are advising them. He don't believe that the Grenville police station dealing with the EE alleged that somebody took a whole bale of steel and a lot of ply in his, and he finally don't getting satisfaction from the police. He's building a supermarket in Sobeys. So for what it's worth, the Grenville police, they just say I like to defend the police. For what it's worth, treat it and give the man some comfort. Yeah. Because justice must not only be done,
but it
will seem to be done.
And communication is key.
Communication is key. So you feel...
even if you don't bring the case or the results, but just the communication alone with the persons and so would give them some comfort that our law enforcement officers are doing what it takes to solve problems. And I know they are doing it, most of them.
So yes, Devon. So we talk about, we believe that the Constitution is being violated or suspended in secret. And like anytime we speak, we have receipts.
Have receipts. Signed, sealed, stamped.
On Independence 50, the people believe their rights was trampled upon.
Yes.
And it's ironic, independence is freedom, but at the same time, people's rights was muzzled by the removing of the license for amplified music. And then we hear all the shenanigans and all the halabaloo, or the reason. The next thing, Devon, and I'm going to read something for you, and I want you to understand why I'm reading it. Gail Purcell, head of the National Organizing Committee Secretariat for the 50th Independence Celebration, says that all contracts awarded by the committee were conducted in accordance with with the Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Property Act of 2014 and regulations of 2015. It is a requirement in law. The Constitution makes arrangement for goods, works, or services for government or any related government agencies costing more than $15,000 must go through a bidding process of 3 proposals before a decision is finalized.
That's the law.
The call for submission must be published in the Gazette. So we must know.
Must know.
A review of the Gazette up to June 2023, we did not see any notice by the NOC requesting that bids be submitted for like the drone and the fireworks and all them kind of thing. So what happened to the Constitution? You don't know it anymore?
Well, apparently so, right? Because based on what was said, that they wanted to move that threshold from 15,000 to 100,000, but they had to gazette it first, right? It has to be made law before that is done. And what we see going on all during that independence celebration is that hundreds of thousands of dollars have been placed in persons' hands, right, without going through the procurement.
$1,000 for oil down. But even what is amazing, chatters on the street. Meet me and tell me, Master Carl, you're talking about the procurement. $23 million spent, or 22 whatever, for independence. But the Prime Minister saying rent house still.
Still
so he tell me to find out who the house for.
Yes.
He say if you find out who the house for, you're going to know why the Prime Minister renting it.
So who's the owner of the house?
I don't know. I walk in on that.
Yeah,
you tell me, the GG living in the rent place.
I have a hint about that.
The GG living in the rent place. $22 million spent for lavish fun, frolic, and merriment. And then they're asking people to come to the GG Gala and donate to build government house.
Yeah.
But he say what is important or what he picking up, that is his words. He say they're planning to backdate. Because there's a backdate legislation to last year, January, for the procurement of $100,000, hoping to cover some of the stupidness on them. That's what he say.
But it's still illegal. If you backdate it, it's still
corruption
illegal.
don't have statute date.
Exactly. Corruption and murder don't have statutes of limitation. It don't.
So what happened to the Constitution? Because the pledge, you say pledge allegiance to my flag and the country where it is standing.
Yes.
The motto talk about allegiance and uphold the Constitution.
So how many people bid for that big drone, 500 drone episode?
We don't know.
It was just awarded to somebody.
Yeah.
Is that legal?
Just give a man a hook.
That could never be legal. Right? All the catering and so for $50,000 and $60,000 a pop. Was that done under the Procurement Act?
Well,
and who were the ones that it got that? We will find out, we will know the names. It will take some time.
But we will find
but
out.
we will find out. We will find out who the house that the Prime Minister is living in, paying over $20,000 for rent every month. We will find out who is the owner of that house.
But
and
listen,
why.
Gail Purcell said all contracts awarded by the committee were conducted in accordance with the public procurement and disposal of public property, which requires 3 persons to bid and publishment in the Gazette. So,
did it happen?
Gail, something no right.
Something no right, Miss Purcell. Something do not right. Is not right. I think you and but surprisingly, I'm not hearing. You hear Miss Purcell say something. You hear Orlando say something, but you're not hearing the chairman of the committee say anything.
Who is that person?
Dr. Wendy Crawford. She says little. She says little of what is going on, and she is what you call a student of history.
Old people. I grew up with my grandmother, and they say when you can't say nothing good, don't say nothing at all. You call it? Let's move on.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, sir.
And how are you all?
Oh, we good.
We holding straight.
Okay. I want to express my deepest sympathy to Mr. Winston White's family.
Yes.
Especially Robert White and the others. A gentleman I knew very well since the early days when I lived in Ladig. I remember when he was just become Minister of Sports, First Minister of Youth and Sports. He came in the Ladig Society Hall to speak to us. And the last time I saw that gentleman is the next significant time again. That was in Miss Juman Pope funeral, who is the mother of Clarence Rapier, who was also a candidate for Sir Eric Matthew. And that was on the 20th of the 2014. So that is roughly 10 years now. That's the last I saw of Mr. Winston White. Right? So may his soul rest in peace, and his family is an outstanding member of the Gary's government. And the name that I just called Miss Juman Pope, she was Mr. Gary's personal secretary at once and was in charge of the union affairs. So we lose an icon again. Very serious icon. A man that was well beloved in St. Patrick's. I think he lost election to Mr. Friday by 1 vote, I believe. Wellington Friday.
And one of the significant thing about Mr. White almost participated in most of the governments, if not directly, but indirectly. No, Mr. White was a member of the Alliance in 1976, right? That ran against Gary in the 1976 election, okay? And he lost. He was also not part of the revolution, but he was there as giving support. And he was arrested and put in jail during the time of the revolution. He survived that, right? But that didn't stop him. He continued, and despite he moved slightly away from the politics and so went into business and became another successful businessman. So his contribution towards nation building here must not be taken lightly. All right, and
all that area where the bus terminal is now.
Yes, the Ziblin project
White,
right there.
Mr. White have a lot to do with it. You remember when this talk was about a hotel, building a hotel there, no, and yes, and
the casinos and everything like that.
Right.
He played an integral part in establishing that project right there.
Yeah.
And these are the things that our present government has failed to do. When persons like Mr. White and so was alive, they failed to give him his kudos, what is deserving unto him, not just as a Grenadian, but an extraordinary Grenadian in politics and in business and community development.
And last, I am not hearing nothing much from the unions. I did see the gentleman in charge of the Tao, Mr. Lewis, speaking on the increase of pay and how it's not balancing with paying agricultural workers the $60 and the hours of work and whatnot. He was making some comment, but I have not been hearing much. We're hearing a lot of people have not got pay. A lot of people haven't reached up to the standard of pay, and with the union seems to gone to sleep again. That's like the second or third time for the year that the union is sleeping, going to sleep. So if the union is representing people, why we don't hear them more? We want to hear more of the union. We do hearing something much now from the members of the opposition, but we want to hear the union too because they're representing people. They're not representing NMP, INDC. So when NDC in power, the union is supposed to go to bed or go to sleep.
All right, my brother. Have a good evening.
Okay, Clifford. So yeah, there one. So the procurement, and then there's the small matter of nation builders.
Yes.
Even before they were registered, they get $500,000.
$500,000. We keep forgetting to keep mentioning them, and the importance that they're playing. Nation Builders.
Nation Builders Inc.
Incorporated. I mean, that is a company that from the word go was given funds illegally. Right? And what is ironic about this whole situation? They came down and they basically murdered the people in faith and the workers that the faith organization was servicing. Up to this day, they still owe them money.
Yes.
Right? And the service that
and the Minister of Education knows a lot about faith.
Of course, because he was being paid by faith as a counselor. The record is there. Right? So when I mean that is so not nice by persons who supposed to know and do better. Right? Imagine for more than almost 2 years now, you are owing ordinary poor women, especially a majority of them is women. You are owing them money for service they have already given to the government, taking care of their children. And so during that COVID period, and you refuse to pay them.
But this present government is so strange, and you made mention of the doctor in the NOC. What's the name you say again? For the committee. You say we here in Orlando, we here in Gale, but we don't hear any doctor.
You don't hear in Dr. Wendy Crawford.
And then you give certain accolades to her about history.
She's a student of history.
But what is strange, she being a student of history.
A student of history.
The road to independence, only Bishop was on it.
Only Bishop was on it.
Yeah. You don't hear in Winston White.
And
you don't hear in Gary.
And you know, it's ironic, as a student
a
of
man
history.
not fight against independence, only name I mention on the road to.
Only name
I call them Trini and say on the road to Italy.
On the road.
And the road to Italy.
Shall I take the car?
Let's take the car. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, my friend.
I've been listening, to the program, and I decided to join in and make some contribution. But first, I want to join everyone who's called to express condolences to the family of Winston White. Man that's a legend in his own right. Individual who have contributed tremendously to the development of his community, his country, both as a politician and as a businessman. And it's a great loss to Grenada and to those who looked up to him and for those who love and cared for him. That being said, if you hear a little noise in my background, we have a series of gentlemen who are working this morning. Well, they've been working since early this morning on the road right outside of my home.
Okay.
And I think that is outstanding. It's one of the few times I've seen persons working on a Sunday doing, maintenance work and so on the road. So I want to just give them a shout out as well and let them know that they're doing a great job and that we appreciate their work sacrifice. That being said, one of the things that have stood out to me in recent times is that of our current Prime Minister. And, the statements, he makes a lot of statements and proposes a lot of solutions to a variety of problems across Grenada, and always makes these solutions seem as if it's, something very simplistic to do. And you always would find that a few months later, he would return to the public space when asked about these solutions, and then he would explain why these solutions are not practical and may not work the way that it was presented and so forth, as if he was not the one who presented those solutions in the first place. And I can give you a number of examples.
Leadership by avoidance.
I could give you a number of examples. To deal with the seaweed problem, get big nets to catch the seaweed and bring them ashore and wait to export them, treat them and export them in some... Up to now, we've had the announcement within 12 months in office, persons on contracts will be, made permanent and all of that. When asked about it in an interview, he said that he came back again to explain why that is not practical and cannot work given our laws and the fiscal policies and so on that we have in place to ensure that we have good financial dexterity measures. Then he goes into Parliament and is angry that someone would bring up that and never gave any deadline as to when persons would be made permanent. But you said it publicly. You said within the first 12 months in office.
Lied.
20 months in office. And these are the types of, things that he comes up with. Then we had the two planes. If within 2 months or so, Liad don't get this thing together, we'll get 2 planes and then you come back and explain to the Grenadian people. That is not a practical thing.
That can happen.
You can't fly into people places without getting their measures. There only has 100,000 people, and to have a commercial airline and so on, that is not profitable and doesn't make sense. You suggested that. Nobody proposed that to you.
Yeah.
You suggested it.
What about the cabinet conclusion?
Well, up to now, we cannot find out, not a trace of it. There was evidence again that you announced publicly in town hall meetings that NNP was guilty. Like you said, you're guilty of, and you have the evidence that they stole money from the government of Grenada being placed into NNP accounts that should have gone to the government of Grenada. Where is your evidence of that? So the list goes on and on and on and on and a lot of supporters of the NDC seem to be casting a blind eye towards these things. It seems like only when NNP is in government we can observe all the wrongdoings and misguided information and all of those things that are being presented. You look at the last interview with the LOC. Sister Purcell was asked about the following the Procurement Act legislation to, in regards of contracts given out and so forth. As far as I'm aware, there is a recommendation to change the act, but that has not gone through the process to be enforced as law as yet. So as far as we're concerned, as is currently constructed, the act still requires anything above $15,000 to go through the procurement board and go through that procedure with at least three recommendations and so on and so forth. Now you telling me, you proposed and are requested persons to receive independence awards on independence day as required by law. You announced that since last year, and you couldn't get enough time to get the awardees to get their awards on Independence Day. But you had enough time to get three persons bidding, 3 separate bids for each contract of $15,000 for that Independence Day celebration that we had, that elaborate presentation that we had, not to mention the other activities that led up to it. And all of that gone through the board? Now, come on, who's fooling who? Right? Each of us know that once there is bids to go through that procurement board, how long it takes. It's part of the bureaucratic process that it has to go through, but it takes some time to go through that. And if you believe, I ask anybody who's tendered for any building that they have to do for government that has to go through that board.
But that is one of the reasons they give for Nation Builders Inc. to cut out bureaucracy.
Well, correct. currently I'm confused about nation builders as you mentioned. Because the Orlando Roman, in his presentation on nation builders, announced nation builders as a part of, is a government entity that's a part of the Ministry of the MIT,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now, when we look and we research, we found that nation builders is a NGO, a registered NGO, non-governmental organization. So which one is it? Because the rules and regulations for a government entity and an NGO are very different.
And then all the directors are politically exposed.
Exactly. So who is fooling who? And we as Grenadians cannot put politics in force and political allegiance in front and say, even me, and I don't have to afraid and shame to tell anybody, voter of the New National Party. But even at that, when the government succeeds, every Grenadian benefits.
Yes.
So all this government can succeed, it is better for us all as Grenadians. However, when they are going off the wrong path, when they are straying from the promises that they've made, when we see negative things happening within our society, we have a responsibility as citizens of this country to step forward and speak up about them, raise attention to them. If we have suggestions and solutions that we would like to propose, to also make so that we can help the government to succeed, because when they do, we benefit as the people. We cannot continue to put political allegiances in front of nation building and in front of what is right for our country. That is my contribution to the agenda.
All right,
yes, very deep contribution, man.
And thank you so much.
So one of the questions, based on what you say, caller, if the Minister of Implementation does go to Parliament and boast how good he is at implementation, why you need nation builders in to implement government projects? Yeah. Or is it just to give some people, and what is the salary of the board of directors? And the other question is, in terms of the procurement, there was in the revolution, they used to pass retroactive laws.
Yeah.
We want to see. You like to recall?
Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, Devon.
Good afternoon,
Carl and Igwe.
Mm-hmm.
Devon, kudos to that last caller. We need more callers like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to that last caller. Let me tell you something, Devon and Master Carl and Igwe. I was working with a woman for 20 years, and she could lie. You understand? And what I believe, after a person lying so much in the head, he become like it's true they're speaking. And I believe the Prime Minister think he's speaking the truth. I too believe this man think he's speaking the truth. And when you bring it out there to the public, then he start to smile and say, well, you understand me? We can do that again, We can, and then he go on to the next lie. So as you guys are saying, it's just a lie, and I hope the Calypsonian learn to make a tune called it Diku More Lie. Diku More Lie. Because I don't know what this man think. He didn't used to play sports, Devon.
He
never used to come in the Queen's Park and watch nobody play nothing. This man, he just fall from the sky, and Grenadians want to believe the man is a savior. I don't know where they get that from. As young men, Devon, we follow them in the revolution. We follow every little thing we hear, every demonstration we hear. Where is this generation? It finished? I don't know. You know, Devon, I in River Road, you in Tempe. You know any little thing going on with there?
Of course, information. We know. We finding what is going on and share it.
Nobody has to tell us. Well, I run from the Carnat up by the freaking and the Camp Church when Bloody Monday start. I follow them up. From when they come down with the trucks and they park in Queen's Park and they start to get on with it. Gary and Jewel, behave yourself. They go charge us for murder.
Yeah.
You understand?
And I'm sure
they can't tell us nothing.
And I'm sure a lot of people don't remember the death of one they call Blunt.
No. They don't remember that?
History.
I'm telling you, they're crazy.
So caller, listen this.
For we generation, for the younger generation today, that's why you say go to educate your children, Devon. Educate them. Because if you don't do it, they don't know nothing. You understand what I mean? A man realize a party is weak. A party is weak. Instead of realize what's going on, everybody say this man come from the sky, let's hand it to him. Because he pocket deep. He have money and he have connection. But they never follow up on a man to know that the same man who fought people, you know, the same man who fought in SGU fought against the people. But we tell him he's the prime minister. What you expect? And who is the deputy? Devon? Who is the deputy? A man who was in all kind of trouble before the election. Yes, I mean, all kind of money. Had to go and break the bank. Because since he get his big money, he and like, oh, the bank can't lend nobody nothing. You understand what I mean? Just think about it. And today, we say, he's the deputy. Devon, the man come out here in the diaspora and tell us, the same day, you know, Devon, that he go in India, right? He said the Indian man giving him $1 million for coconut trees. I don't know what else he go do with it. And then he come back and tell us, you know, he say, Andy, I'll give you $2 million. I laugh. I tell a man, it's the first time I ever hear that. You understand me? And he coming to Grenada, you know. He coming. I don't know if he reach yet. Devon, only you and Master Carl could tell me that. You guys have a good one.
One love, my brother.
I have a next call on the line.
Just take it.
Hello?
And, hey.
Hey.
Yeah. And Winston White and I remain good friends for years. When I hear that they didn't recognize him and the gentleman that designed the flag, I know him very well too. He's a good friend of Dr. Robert Millet, a professor in a university in America. Now, I am saying this to say that if the opposition leadership of the party today had refuted those lies that was told then in a very good manner, people would have understood what they are getting today. No, less debushing, less house repair, less bathroom and toilet building. No, they call it wash. Everything has a new name, and I am saying this is why we in this situation, this calamity we facing now. The fishermen in Guam and outside there, all over, they are bawling. They're crying. They need the assistance. They need help. Things are not happening for them. Nobody's helping them to solve the issues that they face. Where is the parliamentary representative? Where is the fishing association? Where is them? Where is the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries? Where is them? You hear it? They helping these men? No, that is what we voted for on the 23rd of June. These are the issues we face, gentlemen. I am saying they will continue to tell us lies, and we have to swallow it. They will continue to fabricate good lies, sit down and plan lies, and come to us because we start believing in lies. Give them a chance, we will get more lie. Continue to listen, we will get more lie. Because they have nothing else more than to tell Grenadians all what they're saying is lies, 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 lies. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
All right, my brother.
They have on the book of scriptures.
We have a next call.
Let me take it.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Go brother.
The book of scriptures speaks simply because leading up to the election, we heard the prayer warriors.
Yes, prayer warriors.
And a set of pastors and thing was with them. But in 2 Thessalonians 2:11 and 12. Listen to that, Devon. And for this case, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Church people, unfold that for me. And if your friend listening, Pastor, if you're listening, call and unfold that for me, please.
Yes.
Pastor, if you're listening, Pastor Louis, call and unfold 2 Thessalonians 2:11 and 12 for the people.
Even Minister, tell us what.
Yeah. Lako could call and unfold it for us too.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Devon.
Good afternoon.
Pastor Kalanigwe, good afternoon.
Hey.
Good afternoon.
How you all doing?
We're pretty fine.
Okay. Great job. I would like to join in extending my sympathy to the family of Brother Winston White.
Yes, boy.
I pray that his soul rests in peace and rise in glory. I am calling, Leonora George is the name, and I'm calling as a Grenadian, as a former principal, and not as an NNP at all. And I want us to look at the school feeding fiasco we have and why we are having it. Because I've been saying, and I continue to see, that we are being governed by ignorance and arrogance. Because if we have a policy of free lunch, and I welcome this, make no bones about it, I really welcome the free lunches because I think that our seed beneficiaries will benefit from the dollar.
Yes.
You know, some of them have more than one child in school. So it will benefit them, especially as they're not privileged to enjoy the $200 increase to see households. And we know the categories. And I'm still baffled as to why that decision was made to leave off school children when the seed program was designed specifically to break the cycle of intergenerational poverty by educating children of poor and vulnerable families. So let's get back to the school feeding program now. This is a policy. And school feeding, I must say here, is a safety net program. And it's listed in the Social Safety Net Policy document as an in-kind safety net program. Now, policies must follow certain procedures or certain steps. Can you imagine walking down some steps and you miss two? What will happen? You're going to fall. And you could break some bones. You could mash up yourself. I try to tread cautiously going down my steps. However, caution is thrown to the wind here in relation to the implementation of the free lunches to all students. I do not know the rationale for that, but let me say too that previous governments subsidized the school feeding program. So efforts were made, and let us not lose sight of that or discredit previous governments. Because $1, cannot provide a nutritious plate for anybody. So that program has been subsidized a long time now. And there is a policy to allow seed children, but it has never been fully implemented, free lunches. Anyway, now we say free lunch. Shouldn't this now follow the steps? And my heart goes out to the principals who are expected to implement this when they were left out of the loop. No consultation, no information gathering or collection as to what are the challenges, because even with the dollar, the children paying $1 for lunch, and government providing certain basic materials or items, food items, some schools, especially the large schools, have been experiencing challenges because there are a number of capacity challenges in relation to storage, equipment, even the number of cooks per school based on the number of students eating. As a principal, I know this can be a very tedious task when you have to dish out the food. So some schools make arrangement where teachers would help. I used to be in the kitchen assisting the cooks in the lunchroom because you need supervision. So it's a lot of work, I must add. It's a lot. And I must say kudos to the principals who have been keeping things going. You know, I know teachers work hard. So to leave teachers out of the decision making to me, that's arrogance. To leave them out. There was no consultation, as far as I understand, prior to the announcement that free lunches for all schools. About 6 weeks have gone out of the school term already. And principals were not sure as to what to do. And most likely, the quota of groceries were not significantly increased to facilitate the principals feeding all the children who require free lunch. So what do you expect them to do? This decision was really flawed. So I think we need to look at the modus operandi in getting things done. You know, a simple definition for implementation is to put into effect according to some definite plan or procedure. So what was the plan? What was the plan? So there
if
must
you
be
don't have
some
a plan, you
steps
can't
to follow.
implement. If you don't have a plan, you don't have no implementation.
Exactly. So you know, so we are going to have problems if our government continue to operate in the manner in which they are operating. So let us take off our caps and our political glasses and let us do things for the development of our country. Okay?
All right.
I rest my case.
But thanks for the contribution. It was deep.
Thanks.
All right.
You're
Devon, I think I want to just run by Hudson George.
Yeah.
Rural Grenadians are not writing the history.
Yeah.
So Dr. Wendy Crawford and Dr. Wendy Grenade are making all the decisions.
Of course.
Are they reading, man?
Yeah,
Are they reading, man?
But you know, Mr. George is right too, and I want to agree with Mr. George when he made statements concerning the face on our dollar, right, of Morris Bishop. In my view, I'm a student of the revolution, grew up knowing politics during the revolution, and I can't agree with what went on with the dollar. I cannot. It makes no sense, no reason, right, for him to be there. I can understand Sir Eric Matthew Gary, the father of independence, but I cannot understand why Morris Bishop's face was put on the money, right? I mean, think about it. Everything about it is wrong, right? You have sports persons, you have other, prominent persons within Grenada in that 50 years that could have stand out, right, with significance. What is the significance of Morris Bishop being on the other side of the coin or the dollar with Sir Eric Matthew Gary? It's a competition. So you still see that revolution and that Gary type fight that they're trying to push. Right?
Listen, I need to ask
nonsense.
I need to ask you a question. What qualifies one to become a prime minister?
what qualify ones to be in the present democracy.
Yeah.
You have to become a politician. You have to win your seat as a parliament. You have to win your seat, right, to become a member of parliament. And to become prime minister, you have to have the support, right, of 7 or even 8, a majority of the parliamentarians, right?
The Constitution of Grenada spells out, in order to become prime minister, one must be elected a member of parliament, who, in the opinion of the Governor General, commands the support of the majority of MPs. So the man on the other side of the money, did he qualify to that?
No, at all.
I don't know. I just asked him.
No, he was
And
just...
neither here nor there.
Yeah, because Morris Bishop and the revolution created a type of history for Grenada that we cannot forget. We would not forget. It's part of our history, that 4.5 years. You understand? So it's waste of time trying to erase it. However, right, we can do better to correct some of the things that went on both in the Eric Matthew Gary era and Morris Bishop era going forward. Right? I mean, I just cannot understand the reasoning for twinning those two together. Let's take the call, Brother Gates. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, my friend.
Hey, Master Carl.
Well on.
All right. Something I want to find out, right? The government put out a large amount of money for independent budget. Now it's sports season, right? Students, parents begging all over the place for donation. How that looking, Master Carl? So much millions.
22 million.
But all that millions go out. You don't have gas in the hospital, and you don't have mercury coming in the hospital.
Just tell me something.
And I was in a barber shop yesterday.
Yeah.
And a young man came in, they had a loud, well, they had amplified music playing on a truck.
Yeah.
And he had a little bag begging for money. So I tell him he missed the trick. He asked me why. I said, by last Wednesday,
it was the best time.
You should have go in Queen's Park and go in front of the man addressed with the Pakistani Shwari. And ask him for some money. Because the symbol of the Shwari is a rich man. In Pakistan, rich people are with that close. So I tell him he miss a trick.
Head of a clan.
So I tell him next time you have a function, try to remember and go and ask for money ready.
Master Carl, that don't looking right. That don't looking right at all.
It ain't right. It ain't right at all.
No, man. Right now, the parents and students on the street with farms asking for $1 and $2 after how much money was spent. How that looking? That making any sense? That means that we don't going nowhere. We just trying to, cover it up. That look like cover up. Like being fake. They say being fake. Right there, that is being fake.
But listen this. The $22 million, that is to show that it don't trickle down to the people that need it.
No.
Right, exactly.
Look at the same thing, like I tell the guy yesterday. One public servant has to take dialysis. The word on the street is that he was given contracts to help. One poor man has to take dialysis. He had 2 little pasture cleaning, they take the work from him.
2 little pasture.
Who fooling who? I mean, does that
you understand what's going on here? So that's why I say, when the Prime Minister took the oath to serve the people, was he genuine?
No, he lied.
Because he's not serving the people. And too much of things going on. And if he say he didn't know, he know because real media, new media, just tell him.
The Prime Minister is a
and
fake.
he don't fixing it.
He's a fake.
He don't care about nobody.
Master Carl.
Yeah.
Next point. Vanny Cohen, that is your boy. They will speak highly of him, that is your boy. Vanny Cohen said in a press briefing.
Well, I don't deny my friends.
No, that's your boy. Vanny Cohen said in a press briefing that he's not denying the fact that you have police officers that is within the Royal Grenada Police Force, right, that is dealing with situations out there every day
and do not know how to use their discretion. That's a serious thing, you know.
Like
a man
he.
with a firearm in his hand.
Like he.
Huh?
Like he. So he's speaking from experience, so give him some credence.
Yeah, we have to do that. We have to do that.
Oh my God. I wonder how you feeling now.
But what I want somebody to tell, so what I want somebody to tell Mr. Vanny for me, he need to go in a press briefing and explain the revoking of the license for amplify music. Because Devon, chatters on the street say Randy Connaught was confirmed to the rank of acting superintendent of police.
No, acting
ACP.
ACP, acting.
And Vanny Cohen was not.
He was reverted to.
No, he don't revert it. They don't confirm
They
him.
didn't confirm him.
So chatters on the street say they see me in the independence celebration in Chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll win.
But Vanny, what you need to do? The people want to know about this revoking thing. And they want to know if they go get back the money they pay for the permission. Yes. So you need to clear the air. Accounting on you, Vanny, because only you are going to do it.
And you know, that in itself is a breach of our constitution, what was done. Right? Because you took away the rights of the Grenadian people on that day that we are celebrating 50 years of independence, an independent nation. So you telling me on that day, I am not independent, I'm celebrating independence, but I'm not independent? What kind of hullabaloo stupidness is that? I mean, you need to say, that is why we keep saying, and we have the facts, that the Constitution was suspended secretly for a moment to enact most of this foolishness that these guys, the pom-pom on the police head, is another example. You understand? Wherever I hear this thing where you have police pom-pom that them girls and them be wearing and cheerleaders and things, you put that on the police head, right? Without authority.
Without gazetting.
Right? Without authority. I mean, it may sound like fun, but that's no joking matter. Right? And I'm sure that if you ask 90% of the police officers who had to wear it, they were feeling embarrassed and they were vexed. But they not talk. I am going to talk about it for you. I am going to share that disgust for you, police officers, who had to go through that deplorable moment.
And Vanny, when you come to clear the air about revoking the permission, I want you to talk about the recent confirmation of senior officers who were held back just to let certain officers go ahead in seniority. The approach will backfire, Vanny, and it will kill the soul of the police force. All in the name of decolonization. Hold on, Gates. There's a particular officer, Vanny, you know very well, who refused to participate in the legitimate promotion process. And now he's an assistant superintendent of police. And move is afoot to promote him soon to superintendent. He sits comfortably in the office once occupied by acting ACP Mitchell, who was forced into oblivion as a revenge for his son and being Mitchell. Vanny, you need to clear the air.
Yes, you need to. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my friend.
Rowan, them guys, you don't lie, you know. I'm at SSU Friday. Yes, SSU, I don't understand what anything because the majority of us is not knowing they give us yellow. And the majority of us is not for that. Them guys are saying vex. This pom-pom down that I asked him, what is that kind of crown they give them there? He said, in the SSU saying, I don't know, you know. And to be said, they put the crown and on the yellow on the SSU on them. The fella says, so they vex, you know. Them people and them, they don't do, I don't know where they get this whole attitude. Well, who had up that? Where they had up that?
I don't know, but I'm vexed and I'm vexing with the police. I know they can't talk.
No, they can't talk.
They can't talk. But I'm sharing the disgust on this air, on this medium.
When I hear you say that, I come and call because I tell you, I hear one tell me that. And the stupidness with these people and them. Hey, I really tell for these people and them to grow up.
Like they want us to get vine for dead goat.
The wickedness, the more you talk, every time somebody says something, they say they're doing better, they're doing worse, you know. So they need to walk out. We can't make it again. We gone.
They need to leave.
Every morning I wake, I want to hear breaking news. Same thing, same thing.
Let me ask you something. What is the latest on the medical station in Hermitage?
Nothing to do it.
You don't have a do you.
I people seeing it on Facebook saying the hospital in Chambo, the general hospital in Chambo, you know.
Yes.
Because he don't have medical, he don't have doctor, he don't have nurses, he don't have nothing, you know. And they want to show their colors. Where you want, that is not a name. If it's that he's looking for, no name. He fell big time.
Bigly.
Big time. Tell them better. They're talking about the health care. They're talking about the same, the working condition is nothing. And instead of better is worse. No, man. You enjoy your afternoon here?
Okay, my friend.
Devon, you realize any time any argument has to sign, you have some secrecy about it. They sign a Ghana argument out a few minutes before they go in the park.
Before they hear the
celebration. Yeah. While on their way to the park, they just stop somewhere and sign some argument.
So they're doing it?
Yes, so they do it just like the Samoa.
They had a quick breakfast. And they signed that three, what do you call it? Memorandum of Understanding.
I don't know. The Samoa agreement still is a mystery.
Yeah, still a mystery.
Because we don't know.
But I'm blaming the parliamentary representative of St. Patrick's West.
But he are gone.
He has the key.
He are gone. Chatters on the street say he had to introduce the Ghanaian president in the parking.
I hear that.
But for some reason he don't happen.
He don't happen.
Like he might doing something they don't like.
Yes. I believe there's some more agreement affecting him, and he might just say it as much as he could around them. So they
Chatters on the street say the type of friends they like. He don't like that kind of friends.
No, he don't like that. And I'm not surprised, he go ask the prime minister to move him, give him Minister of Agriculture or something.
So why is the secrecy in signing one media alliance? They don't do it, they don't know. Then you hear he sign, then you hear they going up for breakfast and they say it's just right on thing.
And everything.
What's going on?
What is going on?
Ask them job in the parliament for me. Hello, Italiko.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, my friend.
Mr. Calgitten.
Hey.
You was the man who was brain and said that the $50 is fake. You have a receipt for that for saying that?
You haven't, you could spend anyone now?
You will send the $60 step, you don't brain and say that. Have you got a receipt for saying that?
But because I say that they change it.
What was he was talking
The $50 was fake. Because we talk about it, they change it. That's why it cannot come in circulation until June.
Until June.
They have to go back and change it because what we say.
But if you listen,
they launch it but they can't spend it. They have to wait.
If you listen to the original discussions leading up to this note, right? There was all sorts of pronouncements, whether it can be spent, whether it is just something you just buy and have it there. All sorts of things was happening leading up to that. Up to now, it's not clear.
Devon, we are achieving the mission.
Of course,
getting his pig start to ball.
They
They say anytime you have pig in pen,
squeaking.
Pelter stone inside it, you want to get hit to a balling. Pig start to ball, so thanks.
They just yes.
We are achieving the goal.
That is why.
Get in there. I say my purpose here is to bring it back.
That is why.
What you do is a matter entirely for you.
A ball for
I
the police.
feel happy a pig get hit today.
I'm screaming for the police, but I want to scream for the Imanis. That $500 they want to take from you all. Stand up and make sure that they do not
play the clip again with the 500. Let's see a brain about it. A big pig get hit by.
What? Yes, a big one, a bow pig too, eh?
Yeah, pratax.
Yes, a bow pig. Big teeth on the side.
Who is going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Not NDC.
Not NDC.
Not NDC for sure.
Since Sunday evening, I'm feeling so happy. Since a big pig get hit,
yes,
it's like I win the lottery.
Yes,
I could brag and boast. Because when I speak, they listening.
I want them to keep calling.
All they want to listen me.
You have to listen. And don't let your leaders and the politicians trick you all.
Why the money cannot spend now? Why quite in June?
Because they have
MasterCard say fake and they have to go and fix it. You should thank in me.
Yeah, you get real
For
money
them to make it to spend.
You get real money to
You
spend.
should say thanks.
Because the governor of the central bank had to intervene.
Because when Real Media, Real FM,
New Media,
Real FM speak, we have receipt for it.
Fire.
Yes, I receipt because I make them fix it so they can't spend the money now. After the launch, you ever hear you launch something and it do good? When you launch boat, you go and fish.
Yeah.
When you launch boat, you bring cargo where you launching money and you can't spend. It's fake.
But Master Carl,
spend it.
Where is somebody just bring that to me? Where is Minister Telesford when it comes to health? Since the cabinet reshuffle, have you ever heard anything from the Minister of Health?
But they close down visitation in Mongi.
Well, I mean that is under Mr. Delma Thomas.
No, he's the senior minister here.
Well,
she's the minister in the Ministry of Health with special responsibility for Mongi and ecclesiastical affairs. But he's the head honcho.
What can hear him at all? Since after they take housing and
tongue
from him and social development, he get quiet.
But he's a marginal performer, you know. Wait. He's a marginal performer. Somebody what the electorate reject. What do win they see take him ministries, you know. So that means he's a weak guy.
They reject him. Mr. Telesford,
he's feeble.
They reject you.
According to a friend of mine, Lapa, may God bless his soul. He's a marginal performer.
Of course.
Let's take the call.
Good afternoon and welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hey.
Carl, Igwe.
Hey.
Mr. Devon.
Hey, bro.
Piggy on the railway, picking up stone. Up come Carl with the fire.
Yeah, man.
Crush all piggy bone. Oh, said piggy. That's not fair. Oh, said the Igwe, what the hell I get?
Dialect judgment morning. About the gate and I waiting take rally, but lead a big pig for me.
They balling.
Why the money cannot spend in January and February? Why you have to go quite in June?
And
find out the reason.
And April and May.
Find out the reason.
Yeah.
And when you find out the reason, call back.
So why are you investing in something that can't spend? I have to wait to spend it. I could spend a $30 still.
Are they brain? Find out why it's quite in June he could spend.
I could still spend a $30
and you got to call back and tell Master thanks because if you didn't say that, you're not able to spend.
Well, you going to spend it, let lock him
so
up.
When I say I receipt, I don't joke.
Come go and spend it. Buy it and
I don't joke.
Counterfeit money you're
and
going
you
to
know
spend.
the Prime Minister will lie.
I'm
saying that with no apology. The truth about that, nothing is.
Yes. He lying.
Manifestly certified false. He's a guy.
I don't quote him nothing. He's a liar. A fake. That is the Prime Minister we have. Because he has not been telling the Ghanaian people the truth for the last 19 or 20 months. You understand? He has not. He has continuously lied to the Ghanaian people on a number of issues.
Chatters on the street want to know, seeing that you're asking our Telesford. They want to know what go happen if he might be a beneficiary of GDP. They want to know.
Jesus. Well, it's possible.
Because they say another one. Eh?
This could be. Because
they say another one.
Because remember,
and we know about the 10 million.
Well, remember you have a big
and we know,
farm.
And we know who withdraw the money from the fall farm.
Okay.
We know who. Let the pig call again.
You call, don't worry.
Call again.
Heat.
And ask about who are the 10 million and the fall farm. And the chatters on the street want to know if GDB got to bail out another one. Like in Tongue.
They bail out two.
Tongue rat tell country rat, they don't call me rat down here, you know. Country rat run across the road. And man say, watch a rat. Vehicle stop. Tongue rat walk across, he say, watch another one. He say, I tell you, they call me another one. Good
afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. They have me cracking up. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Even the planning are even his.
You have to depend on the ex-prime minister plan.
Yeah, and they say he do nothing.
And even the plan is and he come making grandstand like though he come with big plan. When it's up to head the plan, he can't even call Kitchen name.
Yeah.
Shame on him.
Yeah.
Not even the plan is you know. The what they call the lady? Oh God, what they call the lady? Bring them in again. She say how he come in a plan. I think the plan 75.
Press
when he
secretary?
come, the press secretary. She say one, he say another. Up to now, he can roll out his plan because they say they don't have the original plan. Even Andy say that. So I don't know who plan they're running on. You need to open up all your eyes and see. Let us see who plan. Because they don't have no plan. The only plan they have was to get rid of NNP and the mission was accomplished and they had nothing to stand on. So let us see who plan they're running on. Because the plan they have is the farm, is what they say, the Grenadian people who put the plan together. That's the only plan they're depending on. So let us see how they go forward with this plan, what they meet in progress. Because they like to change so much things. Every time they come and they meet something there in the pipeline, they have to change, go back in physical planning to change stuff. Look at Simon Cultural Center. They go back in planning again to change stuff. More money even in Martin, they go back again. More money we have to spend.
Well, the biggest joke, after Mr. Implementation said January gone without get it. He said now they are ahead of schedule, you know. In February. I never heard shopping is fair. I never hear men jackasting so, you know. He said January, now in February, and I have the thing where he's saying that, you know. If you go, we screenshot all that where you have it on the page, you know. He said they are ahead of schedule. After the date you give, they are ahead of schedule now. But then again, he said you are original ideas.
Master called a patient from Monge said they have no beds.
They on the floor.
On the ground.
Oh yes,
And
I was there. I was there when that patient saying that.
Yes.
The patient said she spent Christmas and she didn't have to go inside it, but they bring her there. You understand me? And she said you have people sitting on the floor.
Yes.
So Miss Anne-Marie and I not been inside there. I don't know where the pink house is. I never been there.
Okay.
So I never reside there. So people who been there say have
they
people
know.
on the floor. They know.
And they yet to give us a reason for stopping visitations.
Yeah. Well, we still wait. I have a good day and continue doing what you're doing. Trust me. You'll have me cracking up.
Devon, one day I went in the High Court. And hold on. We went in the High Court and Hugh Wildman, the DPP as he then was, he bring a witness on the stand. And he asked the witness 3 questions and then the defense come. So he tell me, since we going down that morning, he tell me I will set him up. So with that said, that pig you call get set up, you realize, and never come and talk about the $50.
No, but how come you talk about that?
No, because I want them to come and say that. No, you get the shot ball, you can do. I want them to bring it, Gates.
A shot ball again?
Yeah, I want them to bring it. You see, I come here, I want them to call because I know they go call.
He try to hook.
I do a receipt. A receipt, that why the money can spend till in June. That's the receipt I have. Do that. Let me take the call.
Hi. Good afternoon. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Anyway, one small question I have. The $50 note, with the new $50 note, is it a note that could be spent in all the other OECS islands or just in Grenada only?
He should be able to spend all about after we say that here on real media.
After it becomes
after we say it on new media, they have to go back and change their plans. So you go be able to spend come June.
When it comes into circulation.
Yeah, legal tender.
Okay, great.
Legal tender.
Thank you.
All right.
Because we say that. They didn't have no plan to do that. But Master Carl say that. And he make a monkey reaching the plan there, man. And they go back to the drawing board. They come and talk out I so brave.
Because would have been a counterfeit.
You don't know nothing. You must learn. Listen in silence and learn a lot of things.
Listen and
you open your mouth and make everybody know what you is.
Like
stay quiet.
That is not.
So Imani student, Imani workers, please come out in your numbers and show this government that they must not renege on their promises. The head of the government, right, wearing a yellow jersey in my constituency on a platform, said to the nation that the Imanis will be getting $500 to their salary.
In the budget.
So why the financial officers...
so why they ceasing it? Why ceasing?
But the financial officers did what the Prime Minister said.
Yes, they do their work.
And after they do that, they're saying about it a mistake that they make.
So when the finance officers perform with distinction, they say mistake.
Yeah.
When stupidness happen, they blame the finance officer.
Come on.
But if you blame the finance officer, who in charge of them, you have to blame them too.
But I want to say...
You have to have consequence.
Yeah, Master Carl, concerning this Imani business. No. The previous government, the NNP, they basically had the Imani students or the personnels, right, on scales based on their responsibility, based on their academic ability, right, and everything like that. The least paid was 700 and it went up based on how they perform, based on their academic qualification, and so, right, they reach all the way up to 1,000, perhaps $1,100. No. After the Prime Minister made that pronouncement of all Imanis getting $500 by his government.
In the next budget.
Coming up, starting from January, right? That will leave all Imanis getting $500, right, and remain on that scale. That's the promise.
But Devon, since he said that, I ask, what about the Imanis in the private sector? I ask that question.
No mention.
Because I say, how you go coerce the private sector to do that? Then you talk about minimum wage. You make all kind of song and dance. But you violating it now.
Exactly.
So the constitution ought to be changed secretly.
They're doing it. They're usurping the constitution.
Let me take the call again.
We lose it.
You know, that is so thing. So I urge you Imani personnel, don't give up. Share your concerns, rally your support, ask the union, the same union, Brother Grimes and Brother Lewis and all of them. Ask them to intervene on your behalf.
Devon.
Let them do it.
So we touch on leadership by avoidance and the secrecy in signing agreements. Devon, I want us to touch a little on corruption. CBI, dealings, the hiking ministers pay without consultation,
and the
ministers getting money from GDB. So the chatters on the street want to know what happening to Mr. Telesford and GDB. They don't saying, they asking the question. So they asked me to ask him if there's any agreement with he and GDB. I don't know what asking.
You know, you're listening, you know, you could
out of the abundance of caution, there's information out there from chatters to ask me, because I'm the people's spokesman and they say they don't listen to me. If I get them to make the $50 legal tender, if I get them to pay the workers in Moncton and them, things happening. So we asking now, is there any truth to any decision with GDB that may include Mr. Telesford? I don't know what asking, out of the abundance of caution.
Mr. Telesford, I know you're listening. Kindly give us a call. Let us know. Right? We don't want to speculate. We will not share wrong or bad information. Right? We always have a receipt, right, for the monies that we disburse.
And what is the truth? What is the truth behind the setting up of Nation Builders Inc.? Because Andy Williams boasting 90-something% implementation. So then why you need Nation Builders Inc. to implement government program? And listen, the only client of Nation Builders Inc. is the government of Grenada.
Oh, they cannot know client. Who paying them?
By corruption, no statute date. So when over 3,000 passports were sold in 18 months, and people say Chatters on the street say, Master Carl, the agent fees could range from 5,000 US to 10,000 to maybe more.
Yeah. So you're talking about over 30
And we know who is the biggest setter agents here.
Yes, recipients.
And we know the connection to the government of Grenada.
It's public
because
knowledge.
Mitchell and Co and them in it.
Yeah, it's public knowledge.
And we know who have to give the final approval. Yeah, and Devon, hear the thing. Hear what the thing coming. Nice. Now, when you make an application, you apply to an agent. The fees and the monies and things is placed in an account, an escrow account. We don't know which bank we're dealing with. We have to find out which bank we're facilitating it here.
How many banks we have here right now?
I think three.
Yeah,
So
ACB.
Yeah, I discovered a bank the other day.
So we have to find out
ACB.
which bank facilitated. So when the money is placed in escrow, unless approval is not getting money, can
move.
And 3,000 approved.
Approved already.
And if it's me, and I know you're close to who are approving it, you are coming by.
Of course. You is the final say, you know. So I coming by you.
Yeah.
So if you tell me no, all I know is no.
So what 30 million?
Mm-hmm.
Thereabouts.
In fees,
In fees alone for the last 18 months. Who make that money?
Well,
open your eyes and see.
Yes.
I don't know about the environment.
Well, yeah, I know about the environment.
And not only the environment. You have a word they call beneficial owner. Once the thing is yours, that don't mean you could just say not you, you know. If he's a beneficial owner, we could make most of the decisions. And we know he has certain man like to make decisions even when he was in an other form before. Yeah. We know what is so happen.
Mitchell and Co., right? Isn't that law firm owned by the Prime Minister?
He's a beneficial owner.
He's a beneficial owner of that. Okay. Isn't that conflict of interest?
I don't know. That
what we trying to find
out.
Speak
to corruption.
That's what we trying to find out there. But you're jumping the gun. We want to know. We want to know.
Who's going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Who give them?
Not NDC. Not NDC because you lie, Mr. Prime Minister.
So they say, chatters on the street say again. Because we just have receipt.
A lot of them receipt.
They say, a former magistrate, I feel is your friend, you know.
No, I don't take it part.
I'm just saying what they say.
Yes.
Right.
Some people say maybe he was in Dubai. I don't know.
Okay.
They say he could replace Telesfor. I don't know.
Ooh.
Because insiders say Telesfor has become a problem that we don't hear in him. He mouth zip, he hands on, he leap.
So they plan to make my partner a senator and replace.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because they say in your constituency you might have to campaign against that former magistrate. I don't know. But he's a good friend of mine too.
Is my schoolmate, is my friend, my buddy, my everything.
So Philip,
they on to you.
Why you not saying anything?
Yes.
But Philip, you should have known that thing. Because they cause the thing in Mount chose to crash and burn. You know? And Philip, fix the road. What you mash up going up to the fall farm. Philip, them people might to have two shoes in the hand when they going out and rain falling. All because of you, Philip. And Philip, the reason why I go tell you that I have vested interest in that road. Because that one of the first thing I do when I was in the corridors of power to do that road.
And he mashed it up just so.
And Philip mashed it up.
The man who walk your ladder low, man.
Philip, not even. So Philip, them people in Mount Chose say, fix the road. Because they tired of walking with two shoes. But Philip, you know who caused you not to be in thing up there? You know who asked back for the money? So that will surprise me, Philip. Philip, you get punk.
The same man that you're in front of right now.
But Philip,
take back
so
the money.
So Devon, listen this. And get a wonder clip for the long clip where they say they could buy you. Because I want to speak to Philip about that clip.
Yes.
Because he say, if you beggy, because you asking for help for the farm, for the chicken farm, and they invest. So if you beggy, And what's the next one again?
If you what I can't say.
You want to come and be parliamentarian?
No, I want the long one because I want to deal with Philip today.
But you're driving at a point, which is you have to serve the people. If you're hungry mouth,
Yes, hungry mouth.
if you beggy, you could come and be parliamentarian. Or all kind of people gonna buy you because they know you're hungry mouth.
Yeah, let me leave it. Philip, the people want to know if you was beggy.
Or you hungry mouth.
The people want to know if you was hungry mouth. The people want to know if you get by. Not me, you know. That is what the people are asking.
Because when he's saying that, is Demi watching?
Demi what?
He watching,
and he
all
was
of
right
them.
by him there.
He was watching all of them. Ron Redded, Telesford. Well, Laco wasn't there. Right? Andy. He was watching all of them in the eyes and telling them that.
So when he come on the airport, Devon, and all them running down there to greet him, you know why? Because they could have been hungry, but I don't know.
Yes, I feel
they could have been beggy. That's not for me to know.
No, that is for them to know.
But what I want to know is if they get by, which is wrong.
Yeah.
If they get by, that's corruption.
That's corruption to the highest.
So, Philip, were you bought?
Yeah.
Boughted?
Laco, were you
and
bought?
what is the situation, if ever there's a situation, with you and GDB? I don't know. Chatters want to know. Let me take the call.
Andy, were you bought? Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Devon Romain.
Good afternoon, my dear.
And Mr. Carl and Zive. Are you getting on bad this evening there, you know?
The facts.
Are you getting bad?
No, we're sharing the facts.
Anyhow, they are not so well today.
Focus.
I just want my sympathy go to Mr. Winston White.
Yes, yes.
So tell us lost a great man, Winston.
Yes.
Yes, sympathy go to Robert and his daughter and all his children and the family. Yeah. But Mr. Carlo, you said the $50 they can spend that money. Somebody give me a $50 so I can go and spend it.
They say till in June this thing could happen.
The $50 in Morrison gave.
But the intention was never to spend.
It was like a
But
souvenir.
Master Color them talk about it.
That movie, a man can make not set on. He's a police.
No, he not a police. He playing down, he don't know. He just set up.
The man is calling a rage.
No, he didn't realize I leave that subject alone for people like he to run in. They say fools.
Mr. Take it easy and listen.
They say
And then
fools
find out
rush
what's going on.
in where angels fear to go. Where
And
even
then-
angels are going, fools rush in there.
Devon,
Yes,
the
darling.
man and them will not say nothing. They're afraid to speak.
Well, no,
I don't understand why people afraid to speak out when something is wrong. Speak out for their own benefit. They won't say nothing. They go take their take a chip.
I know it's the best time for them to talk, you know.
Yeah, they won't speak.
Connie.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I want the caller to call back and tell me about the doctor house in man.
Yes.
Don't even call back and tell me about not the $50. Tell me about the doctor house in man.
Yes.
I have receipts.
People know what's going on in England, you know.
They don't know. They don't know.
Don't know, but we know.
We know.
You know good. Good afternoon to Miss Yolanda in Oxford. And all who do is listening this
Wonderful lady.
afternoon. And not, yes, of course. Dr. Mitchell, take your rest, sir. Peter, and they want to hear you speak about blunt.
Yes, girl. I
You
can't
know that
forget
me Dr. Father.
Well, I mean, I didn't know that directly, but I know you had links with her. Yeah.
Died in the oldies, you know.
Yeah.
That was in every time when they
Oh,
came.
you're talking about all these
and that was-
70s?
Yeah, and that was the biggest funeral I've seen in Grenada, you know.
Before and that's before independence.
The
eh?
big like Bob Marley funeral.
Yeah, that's the biggest funeral, yeah.
Blunt.
Anyhow, you all have a blessed evening and lie down listening.
Kami, before you go, I want the caller to call back and tell me who is size 10 but with size 14 shoe. That them thing I want him to call and talk about.
Call back, please. Call back. Call back. Yeah.
I don't continue off. I'll leave you later talk. Call back.
Call back, call out. Give me a general fire this evening, 9-9. Fire this afternoon for them, boy. That.
All right, darling.
Have
Take
a good
care.
evening.
You too.
I'm not talking to Maggie.
And you take good care of yourself, all right?
I'm trying. I did a lot of pain. and everything. Yeah, good evening to everyone.
I want the caller to call back and tell me how the teachers and them are working hard.
Our presbytery.
You call. Oh, wait, before I go, Master Carl.
Hey.
They had a week, they're doing a week in this, but one thing I could clarify, I don't know for all the clinics, but I know they have gas. I won't lie. I'm not supporting them, but they have gas.
No man, not all about their gas.
That was in some places my
A good friend of mine had to give them some gas the other day.
But
maybe that the one you see after they get it.
In St. George,
yes, in town. A friend of mine had to give them some gas.
And I'm talking about Friday.
And I have receipt for that too.
Yes.
So I them to call back and talk about it.
Listen, the nurses and doctors on the Melville Street Clinic, they're frustrated because of certain things they don't have to work. Because I go there every day. I go with my medication. I buy my medication and I go there so that they could give me because they don't have. And I didn't have one. And I had to cry out to the doctor and she did give me one injection because they didn't have none of this in the pharmacies. I said in Grenville, I said in Guelph, I go in all those in the town of St. George. And they didn't have, and I beg her. So, and I get gas every day. Every day I get my gas. So I don't know for the other clinics. You understand?
Yeah, they in servicing.
I could speak about the one in Melville Street.
All right.
They need some help. Yes.
Good. Okay.
Have a good evening.
All right, my dad.
I want the caller to call me and tell me about the $1,000 honorarium for the doctor and why it is not applied.
They can't get the money.
You could come and be parliamentarian.
Caller.
All kind of people go buy you.
I can disappear. Caller. Call and tell me why the machine had to be removed from Pity Martin to come down here for stitching. You want to call? Call, let me talk.
Yeah, I don't
call, let me discuss.
The same gentleman, call back.
Let me have a discussion. You talk about the $50, let me talk about the rest of things.
Yes, let me talk about it.
Let me talk about why the salary, the retroactive for 2023 is not being applied for some workers. Call, let me talk. Call and tell me why salaries are late. Call and tell me why the road mechanics, the fellas that are fixing the road, don't get in pay for 4 and 5 fortnight. Call and let me discuss that.
Let's discuss that. Mutual.
A brain.
Mutual
Call.
understanding.
All they want to think all they could get away.
Call us.
Call and tell us why the people, the finance officers and them have been double work.
And they still get blame.
And still get blame.
Tell us why Orlando, Romaine and them want to throw the police officers under the bus when they know the police officers got the directives from them. Call and defend that. When they want to throw the police and them under the bus, call and tell us why they want to take away $500 from the money.
Corruption.
Call and tell us
Corruption.
why the Imani parents vex with the ACP. That is what I want you to call and talk to me about.
Master Carl, don't think
you want to call and talk about $50? You have a lot of things to call about. Right, take the call.
Good afternoon.
Oh, wrong one.
Hey, Master Carl, I had to come back in again. I want to ask the NEC supporters if Grader now started to develop since after June 2022, if after election. Because I hear some of them saying, the North thought to be a Grenadian. So Grenada wasn't existing before 50 years of independence. It wasn't existing before this NDC. Yeah? Grenada wasn't existing in 2008 to 2013. Yeah? Or it wasn't wrong. Where it was. When I hear people say that the first time to come back here in 46 years and the feel so proud.
Free ticket.
First time to come back in Grenada in 46 years. 46. 46. And you don't see nothing to impress you. NDC was there 19 months and some days. Come on, people.
No,
stop being
hypocrite
and color. Yeah, go
my
ahead.
friend, don't go. Because I tell you, anything I come here and I say, I receipt. The caller, I want him to call back. And I call his name, because I'm afraid of him. I call him my brethren mass up name.
What?
One of them, hold on. One of them, they give one-way ticket, come in mass up establishment and tell us what? I hear they used to talk all green up, but them born them lying.
Yeah.
I want the caller to call and dispute that.
One-way ticket.
The one that come along with the one-way ticket and he have to go and register.
Master Carl,
yeah.
There's a $2 note in circulation. It is a commemorative note, right? Commemorative note. That note is hard to find, much less the $50 that they said they bring out. These men, watch. I ain't lying in it. We good in this country. And you know that we speak about these programs, your program, Master Carl program, and Sheldon program. We doesn't call and chastise normal Grenadians. We deal with the politicians. That's what the program is about. But we have programs on people's personality, people the size. And you see supporters, all they go down a wrong way that continue warning you all they wouldn't like what will happen. Because what goes wrong,
my
goes
good,
wrong.
good
afternoon.
My good friend. You going? You there?
Grand. Moving with the breeze.
The caller must know that after Master Carl, come on Real FM, New Media, Real Media,
Yeah.
and talk all the $50 bill. The discussion on a domino table in the South is what we go do. Because Master Carl don't talk how the money can spend.
Yes.
That's what you have to call you and talk about.
They're fake.
I set you up, I want you to call. You don't call in back. Call back.
Waiting. You have 20 minutes.
And you have preference. We're giving you preference.
Yeah, leaving him later.
Yeah.
Call back and tell me why you stop the River Road project.
Yes.
You want to call. Call and tell me why the River Road project stopped.
And you one that was calling Mr. Pierre program and talk about Mr. Pierre, call now and we ready for you.
Now he had one call.
No, I want him call. Let me put him in the place. Might be the last time he go call.
Call me, please, and tell me about the $10,000 for independence.
Yes, that was supposed to be.
And then call me and tell me for the another $10,000 because 10,000. And call me and tell me who they need style and they say they could just write check now because they're getting $10,000. That's what you have to call about. You want to call out $50. That's what you have to call it and talk about. And then we go have a discussion. So you know me. Any Saturday, meet me downstairs Real FM and we go talk. You calling and talk about $50. You don't calling about the pertinent thing.
No, you have nothing else to say and talk about. The
Yeah,
issues that
caller and tell me why the Prime Minister living in a rent house.
$20,000
when he have a house for him and it will cost less than $20,000 to repair the house if you have to repair.
Exactly.
Yes. Way
That's what you have to call about.
Even if it costs $100,000 to repair, the state could bear the burden, but it's still cheaper than what we've been paying for the last 20 months.
Hold on, call back and tell me why you remove $150 from everybody.
Yes.
Then you take out some. Then you give back some $200. But you don't give school children nothing.
A serious man I call Levan.
Yeah?
Hey, daddy man I do that?
Let it call. All you want to call.
You have a caller there?
Let's
Good afternoon and welcome.
Devon, I just called back.
Yes,
you know, I just tell you about the $50 bill.
Mm-hmm.
The person that give me just call me and tell me to spend it, you don't go, you know, just pay.
Jesus Christ.
So come from America.
Yes.
And he gets stuck down here because I have something selling for me, trying to make up a ticket. Trying to make our money to buy to go back up. You hear what I say?
Yes, darling, I hear what you say. So we have
tell me the money that you have take $50, so the money have take $50 going around.
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right, my dear.
Right.
Take care. Have a wonderful evening.
See, we got next receipt again?
Yes.
They don't know.
We got next receipt again.
Yeah. Call us. We want.
And I'm happy all you listening.
Yeah. Of course. And we continue listening to this
because
program.
Because our receipt. Yeah.
But you know.
Because I know they go call me because one of them talk to me about that all year in the weekend.
Yeah.
Or the $50 could spend. So I pretend I don't hear. Because I want them call.
But you know what's interesting, Master Carl? Why? That is the only thing that person could call and talk about. He would not call about the money that they take from the seed recipients. Right? He would not talk about the unpaid money that is owed to workers. But he calling about a fake $50.
Yeah.
I mean,
call back and tell us why they're exposing the police to radiation on the coroner.
Yes, tell us.
The court move from there. That's what I want you to call and talk about.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Carl.
Hey.
You know you see this evening. What's in place? Not more this evening, you know. What's in place? They play they like enhancement.
They too bad mind.
Like they can scratch. What? They get it bite and they can scratch, you know. Later.
Alright. Caller.
You could come and be parliamentarian.
If they send you,
go buy you,
tell them you don't see me. If he's a part, he's a Welshman. If he's a deep sea, just know as the ocean. River can beat sea. So call back when we discuss those issues on them.
And know that no matter what you all say about us, that wouldn't deter us, you know. Because we are here serving the people.
Let me tell you something, Devon. The Indian cricket team came down here and played against West Indies and my champion Brian Lara batting it. And they tell the wicketkeeper, don't talk to this guy because you go motivate him. Leave him like he just come and he go get bored. I come here this evening, maybe I was bored, this man coming and the same time you sledge Brian Lara, trouble take you.
All the time I trying to
shot
juke.
ball again.
All the time,
Shot ball.
all the time I trying to juke you, you don't juke you. That man call and he send you.
Because he has so much issues
waiting
to discuss. Then you come with this $50 stupidness.
It's all fake thing. What's wrong with you?
And then make it worse, you go and put Bishop face on it again.
Yeah.
You vex a lot of people.
And make no mistake, you know. I was a student of the revolution. I love Maurice Bishop. But Maurice Bishop have no right to be on the face of the $50. He has no right. Look at the history. I mean, come on, people. Let's not just buy things just so and close our eyes and pay $50 for something that can't spend. I mean, what is wrong with us? Where are we going? You understand?
Call back. And the $10,000 for parliamentarian. Tell me how this money should be spent. That's what you have to call and ask about you. And call and tell me what account that money should go to. If it's the constituency account or somebody private account. And call and tell me just after they asking for MP's account numbers, they say they hack government account. Why? That's what you have to call me and tell me about. And tell me how inland revenue standards will treat with. And what is the limitations on that $10,000? If you could just write check and buy goods for people. That's what you have to call and talk about. Talk about $50.
And call us and tell us
a lot of things you have to talk about. Call, let me discuss.
Call us and tell us why. All you have all your
You know the phone number?
All you have all your mouthpiece on the radio chastising the public workers and the police for doing their work. Call and defend that.
And call and tell me why the man in charge of ASB all of a sudden I realize he's a Christian and he has certain decision he might not want to take. Why? It's because I overheard a conversation that he said the true nature of all your boss. Think it over. Think it over. Yes.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Well, fellas, how you on today? I was saying, calling what happened. I had a contractor outside and something to do with a roof. So there for the whole 2 hour, almost 2 hours. So I kind of that's why I didn't bother, but I just come.
Yes.
Anyway, well, even though I know what all you talk about, I could make my own thing.
Yeah, contribute.
We going towards in terms of the school feeding program. You make big announcement and tell the people that there's no school feeding program is free. Now you want to say thing about $1 and people calling and saying all kind of a nonsense. The point is this, and I made it clear. If you tell somebody it's free, $1 is paying for it.
They must lie.
Why make that lie? And you're hearing people on the program defending and talking. I was so mad the other day when I heard a woman talk about these cooks. She don't realize that you can't make that allegation about what the cooks do and all kind of things. These people are dangerous, but not only that, you're hearing some of the apologists saying what now is the GIS fault, and everything what I find about is that it's the public servant fault. How they sabotaging, and it's the NNP people, and these are allegations, mind you. But what I hear that the apologist saying that, and how's the permanent secretaries? I mean, mister, you know who you are. The people who making these allegations against these people, they lie. All you lie. And it's not the first time. I mean, there's a pattern of lying. You make big announcement to say that you have plans for the country. When it reach time now, come down, no plans. And let me just warn all you something. I know there's a lady who just called me afterwards here in the Northeast. I'm warning you, because all your telephone calls and you think I have all the facilities, the technology, the everything. So don't call my house. Last week the person called my house and saying how I'm talking about thing and all kind of thing, and they don't call my house because I have everything in place, and don't try and disguise your voice. So getting back to the original thing, if you tell somebody that they don't have to pay, I mean, it's no big thing, it's $1, but sometimes it might be a big thing for $1 for other people. But you can't be lying on other people calling and defending that on public radio station and running down NNP people and about how they're hungry and they're this and that, and it's them not making the noise. But I'm telling all you, I'm a big member of the old NDC party. And let me make it clear, old NDC party. And I am telling you, when I say that I am not impressed with the government and I'm not impressed with the leader, I tell you a thing. Only talking about the NNPs, not the NNPs, big NDC, saying that. You can't tell people it's free and then afterwards turn to ask them to pay. That is not freeness. And I want to place that on record. If it's free, it's free. But you're lying, and stop it, because it's not the first time. And then all you want me to sit down and defend that? I can't defend that. The person who called in my house, I can't defend that. And I want you to deal with the issues. This is what I say, not some stupidness. Why tell people that is deceiving people? Look at the situation with the Imani thing. Everybody go be permanent. Oh no, here you go be bankrupt the country. How you go be bankrupt? And you said, is it a stroke of a pen? So what happened? The ink run out? What happened to the stroke of the pen? You're hearing all kind of conditions. There was no conditions before when you was on the campaign trail. There was no condition, but all the public servants had to you go bankrupt the country, all kind of things. You know, so the pattern is a pattern of untruthfulness or lies, wherever you want to put it, and it is not the first time. And we calling on the government to come clean. I can't believe nothing that comes from the political leader of the National Democratic Congress and the leader of this country. I can't believe nothing, because it's you that bring it on yourself. I don't hate you. I wish you all the best. And it's thanks to people like me, you have a party you inherit a party with a solid foundation. You didn't have to say, where is it? Here is it. You get it on a golden platter, because you just came in shortly before election, and I in the party a long time before, and man, I'm in the old NDC party. So I don't hate you, and I have no problem, but I would not stand this sort of a thing. And whatever you do wrong, I am going to talk about it, and I'm not happy at all. I can't believe nothing that comes from your mouth. You have to do better than that.
All right, my friend.
And don't misinterpret it and say I hate and all that. And Blady, don't call my house. Just don't call my house.
All right, caller.
Take
right,
care.
okay.
I want you to play. Hold on, but before that, I want the caller to call back, Devon, and tell us why you don't have medication in the hospital. You know about $50.
Yeah, you know about $50. And before you play that clip too, just as a note, 12 years ago, today, the 18th of February, we lost a former prime minister in
that's Mr. Brizan.
George Brizan.
Yes.
So you know, and so just for history and remembrance, you know, a Grenadian as a former prime minister, a political stalwart, an educator, and so, right, we remember Honorable George Brizan, who was a former prime minister of this country. Right, so caller, call back and tell us. We still waiting and we are minutes.
Who's going to give them Imani's $500 increase in the new budget that's coming up?
Not NDC. Not NDC, because you lie, Mr. Prime Minister.
I want the caller to call me and tell me why the cheese melt out in the pie in the sky.
Pie, yes.
Because you know a lot of things. You know what $50 and you could spend. Why the cheese melt out in the pie in the sky?
Yeah.
Igwe.
Pie in the sky.
Well, they offer pie in the sky, but the cheese melt out, so all the toppings falling out now.
And hot cheese too, eh?
You call it?
Yeah, we have
I take the last one.
Good afternoon,
That was
lady.
my boss, Mr. George Bridgen.
Yes, Kabi.
Thanks for reminding me. That was my boss. And you know, that terminal where he just get it for me.
Yep.
That was my boss.
Respect you to
A
them.
very nice man also work with.
All right, my
And
friend.
the last thing he did for me was to get that boot for me in the terminal.
All right.
Have a good evening. And
Okay, darling.
Call back and tell me why people move from a mole-infested area on the coronage, radiation high, and you put in the police there. Seeing that you know, call and tell me about that. Or they want to call?
The original owners know there was danger in that building. They moved.
I want to call. Call! You know the number, don't afraid. Don't be shy.
Yeah, the lawyers kick against it and they moved.
The court moved from there, but I put in police.
You put back the police there. Who's supposed to be
That's
protecting
what I want you to call about.
Who's supposed to be protecting the nation? You're putting them in harm's way.
Call and tell me the true situation with Mr. Taylor's son.
Yes. How is so silent?
What happened if anything happened with he and GDB?
Yeah, I find he's silent.
And who cause the business? Who take back the money from the business? And why you fixing the road? That's what I want you to call about. Well, folks, they've made a nice program today.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
right,
because-
Grenada, thank you.
Yeah. Peace and love.
Peace, one love.
Handed can't be trusted. This is the opinion, yes again. For their own abuses, they keep making excuses. Housing crack up mover. They unleash the lawyer, set up an inquiry just to get Kid Rowley. But they wouldn't sue the false papers.